I always wanted to play The Sims 2 Castaway on other platforms growing up, but sadly I only ever got the Nintendo DS version, which isn't great. In fact, I hated the game. Meanwhile, the PS2 version looked better. Now, I'm finally going to play it, thanks to emulation. So let's dive into The Sims 2 Castaway for the PlayStation 2 and see what I missed out on as a kid. To start, you must create at least one sim. I made myself and decided to add some others. Of course, I had to add Charlie to the crew. It wouldn't be a party without the moist man from Florida after all. Next, we made Mudahar. If you're going to go on a boat, you need a black friend. Yeah, that's what I meant.
What's wrong with you?
Finally, I added the balding hobgoblin himself, Mr. Big Dick Energy Asmongold. Sadly though, I didn't see any options for bald or balding, so he gets some hair. Enjoy, Zach, cause you ain't getting any in the real world. Then I added a chick, cause you don't want this to be a sausage fest of a boat ride.
Ha! Gay!
Afterwards, we set off to party at sea with karaoke, beer, and fishing. But then a storm hits and we get shipwrecked, separated from one another. Now, it's time to survive in The Sims 2 Castaway. When you start, you have a pocket knife, a bed mat, toilet paper roll, and that's it. Time to get together and anything and everything to make tools and supplies for survival. Getting the spear to fish, crafting a torch to see at night, making an axe to harvest wood, trying plants to see what they are, such as sugarcane, chili peppers, flowers, and cherries. I mean, you gotta work on your alchemy skill like it's Skyrim. Befriending some chimps to have them gather stuff for you, in turn you give them bananas, making shelter and calling a place home, eventually unlocking the ability to make a paddle raft to explore the second island. The first island is essentially just a tutorial island, like RuneScape, but it's also a good chunk of the early game as you figure out how each mechanic works. You have all the motives there from The Sims 2, but you unlock them over time as you discover things. To start, it's easy. You just have energy, bladder, and hunger. But over time, you get social, fun, hygiene, and environment. After about an hour, I found my way to the second island. When I arrived at the second island, I gathered some pineapples and chili peppers, but then out of nowhere, new chimps and Charlie appeared. After greeting and catching up with the moist man, I wandered deeper into the jungle. Here I found sugarcane and a radio. So of course I turned it on and got my groove on alongside Charlie. Next up, I wandered into a cave, found nothing but another loading screen, then more loading screens, and finally I found Muda and Asmongold, eventually getting them to join my tribe alongside Charlie. We built a village on the beach, and I got a canoe to make my way to the third island. At this point, however, I was fed up with the constant loading screens and god-awful slowdown. I've about had it with this game, on top of the grinding needs decaying so rapidly in an unrealistic manner, which is common with survival games. Everyone is like hyperglycemic. You eat 15 elephants and still die of hunger. You drink a football stadium worth of water, and your character cries about being thirsty. You take 5 steps, and your character passes out from exhaustion. Typical survival fucking garbage. Game mechanics. Turns out The Sims 2 Castaway was doing everything wrong long before the DayZ survival and zombie craze of 2013 started. At this point, I found my last crewmate, explored a bit of the third island, realized I can't stand this shit game anymore, cheated to get all the resources and plans to only find out nothing good is unlocked. I still need to play through the entire third island and fourth island if I want to beat the game. I think not. I'm done with this game. After hours of frustration, I can't take it anymore. I went in with an open mind and left more angry and closed-minded than a Fox News viewer. At the end of the day, The Sims 2 Castaway is a garbage game that will leave you more angry and agitated than a toddler going through the terrible twos. I wanted to have fun, and I did, for about the first 15 minutes. But like every survival game, it gets old very fast. The mind-numbing grind and unrealistic hunger and other needs to be tended to every other second gets in the way, on top of the clunky controls, the frame rate, the slowdowns, not to mention the non-stop long loading screens. I just cannot tolerate it anymore. My head hurts, my blood pressure's through the roof, because that's how pissed off this game has made me. Time to go play a better game. Hell, even Sims 4 is superior to this trash heap. Enough said.